community, and to this very exciting day that we have here under some good weather. And I want to just say how extremely proud I am to see this development come up in this community. And I remember standing on this corner a few years back with Commissioner Marissa Navarro from the Department of Housing when she worked then for the Metropolitan Planning Council. And it was at that time we were discussing how transit-oriented development and that concept would work here on 43rd Street, which was then a desolate commercial corridor. And to some it's still desolate and commercial, but we've seen some activity along this street in recent years. We had the idea to close Calumet and create a park, and the idea Pendleton Park became a catalyst for that development and other development in the immediate area. Soon after, we began to see some investment in new housing, seeing some abandoned multi-unit buildings like the one on 44th in Calumet come to life. New single-family homes and townhomes began to pop up, and there was a renewed interest in the Forum building. And along the way, we were able to encourage the CTA to upgrade the 43rd Street station. Although they haven't done their work, we're going to make sure that they get that done. That was important because all of that would support the development that we're celebrating here today. Providing affordable housing and retail opportunities near the transit is a critical strategy for keeping Bronzeville an economically diverse and attractive neighborhood. I want to especially thank the Habitat Company, Jeff Head and Charlton Hamer, and P3 Markets, Juan, and my good friend, my buddy who I've known for decades, Phil Beckham. Can y'all give them a hand? For having the vision and love for Bronzeville to get this project done. And I just want to acknowledge Madison and Phil, and I know Mackenzie is not here, but I've known Phil's children since they were knee-high to a grasshopper, and it's so good to see you guys all grown up and doing your thing. I am so filled with pride whenever I walk by or drive by this construction site. I want to thank you guys for your investment. I want to thank NOSA and BOA Construction and McHugh Construction for delivering an attractive building. I want to thank Landon Bone Baker for this beautiful building and Moody Nolan for the new build that they're going to do here on this next corner. I want to give a special thanks to Mayor Lightfoot and her Housing and Planning and Development Department and all the staff for making equitable transit development a top priority for our city, and then investing the city dollars in its implementation. I want to thank the Department of Transportation for their upcoming streetscape investment, and everything else that's coming up around here. I'm just pleased today, pleased as punch. The concentrated focus on public and private resources is a shot in the arm for 43rd Street and for the South Side and for the Bronzeville community. We're extremely grateful, but all of this would not be possible without the attention and care and commitment of our mayor, Lori E. Lightfoot. And if I could have Mayor Lightfoot come forward. Thank you.
All right, well, it's a little chilly today, but I think everybody has warm hearts with being here at this momentous occasion. I've gone by here many, many times, and every time I marvel at the speed, but also the beauty of this incredible development. So today's announcement is, I think, doubly special for the Bronzeville community as we celebrate both a groundbreaking and a ribbon cutting on 43 Green. 43 Green, as you heard from the Alderwoman, is a $81 million Invest Southwest project that will serve as Bronzeville's first equitable transit-oriented development for providing housing and benefits for years to come. And I say first, and I hope not last. We've never had an Invest Southwest celebration like this before, where we can literally look up and see a tower as well as the promise of more to come. Today's ribbon cutting celebrates the grand opening of 43 Green Phase 1, a $37 million 10-story building at 43 Calumet Avenue, and separately, a groundbreaking marks the beginning of the construction of Phase 2, a $44 million 10-story building at 43rd and Prairie. Together, these developments will provide market rate and affordable housing units that are conveniently located by Bronzeville's 43rd Street Green Line station. And yes, we will make sure that the CTA makes good on its promise and commitment. And as I said, this is Bronzeville's first ETOD development. And let me just take you back to make sure that people understand the context and why these ETOD developments are so important. ETODs promote affordability among the nearby housing options. They make it easier for residents of that housing to access jobs, schools, and all the more throughout our city while saving on household transportation costs. And they provide the improvement of the health of communities by promoting pedestrian-friendly, walkable streets. By strategically connecting affordable housing to transit options, our residents can experience all the benefits of living in a dense, multi-use, pedestrian-oriented city as they should. Commissioner Cox talks about this as walkable neighborhoods, and the ETOD strategy is critical to making that a reality. Realizing the importance of ETODs in 2020, the city built upon our previous TOD ordinance in coordination with over 70 neighborhood, citywide, and regional stakeholders, as well as city departments and sister agencies. P3 Markets and the Habitat Company, the developers of this 43 Green, were vocal supporters of our amended ETOD ordinance throughout its creation and path to City Council approval. And I want to thank each of them and all the other stakeholders for their support of that ordinance, which led to today's exciting developments. The ribbon cutting Phase 1 will deliver 99 apartments, 51 of which will be affordable, as well as a 5,000 square foot retail space on the ground floor, which is also critically important. Phase 2 is expected to include 80 units, 44 of which are affordable, and 3,600 square feet of ground floor retail space. So making sure that the housing and the retail, the amenities are all there for the residents and then for the neighborhood to enjoy is a big part of the strategy of these developments. With this development located directly on the Invest Southwest corridor, the economic activity and vibrancy of 43 Green will bring the ecosystem of Invest Southwest investments happening here in Bronzeville, such as the Legacy District RFP project, the Northwestern Medicine Outpatient Care Center, a $100 million project that doesn't include a single dollar of city money. And the Bronzeville Winery, you can clap for that. It's a big deal. And the Bronzeville Winery, which is celebrating its 1-year anniversary of their grand opening this month. I thought, oh, there she is. I thought I saw Cecilia Cuff in attendance. And if you haven't been there, you're missing out on a treat. Great food, great drinks, fantastic atmosphere. Please patronize the Bronzeville Winery. And like all Invest Southwest projects, we expect 43 Green to provide jobs and spur economic activity, to promote a mixed-use walkable corridor, and breathe life into an area of our city that has gone for far too long without new investments and developments. I don't need to tell you, but it bears saying, Bronzeville, the heart of Black Chicago, a historic and beloved neighborhood, famous food, famous residents, and notable music entertainment is at the heart of the cultural diaspora of the South Side. 43 Green reaffirms the incredible potential of Bronzeville and the 43rd Street corridor, demonstrating to the city and beyond that you can and should bet on Bronzeville, all while enhancing the shopping, services, transportation, and quality of life amenities for local residents. So let me wind down by giving a few thanks. Thanks, of course, to Phil Beckham and the entire P3 marketing team. Phil is a doer, not a showboat, but a guy who gets things done with a heart and passion for the projects that he's involved in. I hope that you are very proud, and you should be. And it's a great thing that your children are here to witness their father's great works and deeds. And as we all go by these developments in the years to come, I hope that when you go by, you point to it and say to your grandkids, here's what Grandpa did. I want to thank Jeff Head and the Habitat Company for your partnership in making sure that this hard work to bring the vision of revitalization of Bronzeville has come into reality. You've been laboring in these fields for a long time. I appreciate your commitment and the commitment of the Habitat family. Thank you. I want to thank the construction companies that were responsible for building this beautiful building. Bow Construction, I don't know if NOSA or the team are here, but I also want to thank, why are you at the back of the crowd, man? I got to find you with a telescope. But the commitment of BOA, but also McHugh, again, testament to great city partners, a heart for making sure that we bring to life the words of equity and inclusion. And I want to thank you all, thank you both for being part of this. And of course, I've got to thank my team. Invest Southwest was an idea that was conceived during my journey to run for mayor the first time. Looking across the city and realizing that too many of our neighborhoods were starved for resources. And as we started to think about what could we do about that, how could we turn it around, how could we gather city dollars to really lead the way, that work was led by, first and foremost, by Samir Mayakar, our deputy mayor for neighborhood and economic development. But you can't just do this work alone, you gotta have partnership. And that partnership came in the form of the dynamic duo of Marissa Navarre, our Commissioner for Housing, and our Commissioner of Planning and Development, Maurice Cox, and their respective teams have worked well together, have really put the vision into reality, and transform neighborhoods all across the South and the West Side for the betterment, for generations to come. Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of the residents, thank you on behalf of the people that won't know your names, won't see a placard, but will be the beneficiaries of your hard work, your service, and your sacrifice for a generation to come. Thank you. Now, folks, this isn't the last Invest Southwest announcement of my administration. But we are starting to wind down, and as we prepare to hand the torch to the next administration. So I won't close this chapter just yet, because we've got more things that we'll be doing between now and the mid-May. But let me say it's been a tremendous honor to work with so many of you to realize our shared vision for equitable, inclusive community development. Despite what critics have said about this program, and thought over the years, we all can see the tangible benefits of Invest Southwest. We will all experience the benefits of the infrastructure investments that are going to be made and led by CDOT. We will all see the benefits of the community revitalization grants and the infill development that has started and will continue. We have a pipeline that is on its way. And we need to make sure that that pipeline becomes a reality and never gets interrupted. And hopefully with your help and your advocacy, the work will continue. Today's announcement shows us that we can quickly build a new development from the ground up and still plan for much more to come. So thank you again, one and all. Thank you for realizing this dream. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Jeff, and your teams. And now I'd like to invite Marissa Navarro, our Housing Commissioner, to come to the podium. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, for your work here and for your introduction. I'm Marissa Navarro. I'm a commissioner of the Chicago Department of Housing. This development means a great deal to me. The initial meeting held for this project was the first one of its kind that I had as commissioner for the Department of Housing, and so I think luck must have been on my side. It was summer 2019. I had just started at the department when Alderwoman Dowell and the teams from Habitat and P3 Markets visited the 10th floor of City Hall to talk about this. And as we talked, it became more and more clear what this development would mean for Bronzeville and for the city of Chicago. I didn't know that we would end up using this development repeatedly as the poster child as we work to pass the city's first equitable transit-oriented development. We would show pictures of this development and show how what it meant to be right next to transit meant for the reduction of parking, what it meant for the additional units, and what the differential would have been if we had not been able to take those reductions. So this development came to symbolize what it looks like when we value dense development with affordability and reduce parking near transit. The Department of Housing funded the first phase as our part of our 2019 funding round, our first round under Mayor Lightfoot. It was essentially a down payment for what would become a big 2021 investment in which we committed to 12 equitable transit-oriented developments across the south and west side. This was the first one. In that phase, in that 2021, we also funded the one next door. So to date, between both phase 1 and phase 2, we've issued $15 million in TIF funds, $9.5 million in multifamily loans, $4.2 million in 9% low-income housing tax credits. And we've also negotiated the land sales for all of this. So we have, with Mayor Lightfoot's strong support, championed density, affordability, racial equity, sustainability, and this is the face right behind us. We know people need to be able to afford housing near their work, near their children's schools, near transit, near families, near friends. This should be an option all over the city. 43 Green was an early step toward this. And working with Habitat and P3 Markets really set the tone for the kind of work that makes the Department of Housing proud. They've created opportunities for black and brown-led businesses, including the contracting team that's way in the back, and they've created homes that address the broad range of people with a broad range of incomes that call Bronzeville home. And I just want to say one more thing. I know it's cold, but I'm going to try to do this justice. In 2021, in our funding round for the first time, we emphasized the importance of supporting emerging black and brown developers, and we established a preference for the first time for long-standing developers partnering with those that are emerging. But I want to just point out that Habitat and P3 came to us as partners back in 2019. So even before the department established this preference, Habitat and P3 were bringing it. And today, with one low-income housing tax credit development done and another next door about to start construction, Phil and Juan have greater capacity, greater experience, and they can take their work out on their own, and that's what we'd love to see. So I want to thank Charlton and Jeff and the Habitat team and Phil and Juan for starting the mayor's term with this idea and ending her term having delivered it. And, there's also a person on hand for this delivery that I really need to thank, the Department of Housing's Esther Sorrell. I love to hear the sound of that train. Esther is an assistant commissioner. She does not normally delve into the ins and outs of getting deals to the finish line. She's normally over asset management, but when this deal came up, we were short-staffed, and Esther said, I got this, I will get it through. Now she's out there posting selfies in front of the building. She loves it. So thank you, Esther, for taking this on. So thank you all. I could not be more thrilled to be standing here today with Mayor Lightfoot, with Alderwoman Dowell, Jim Cunningham and his team from HUD who came in and supported. This is a very unusual deal. We don't normally do deals that are half market rate, half LIHTC for a whole bunch of reasons, and that made it hard. People don't like new things, right, in this industry. So I really want to thank HUD for stepping in and saying, we'll finance this, we got this. Thank you. And to Charlton Hamer, Jeff Head, Phil Beckham, Juan Saldana, thank you, thank you, thank you. And on that note, I'd like to welcome Phil to come up and say a few words.
Wow, there's a lot of us here. Thank you. I know it's cold, but I really appreciate all of you being here. We had this another celebration some time ago, and I said we'd be back, and we're back. So today, I thank you for celebrating with us. We're here to welcome our new residents. We're here to welcome our new residents and businesses to 43rd Street and to this community. We're here to welcome them to Bronzeville, to our history and our culture and the love of our beautiful neighborhoods. We're here to welcome our new businesses to new customers and new opportunities, and our residents to new businesses that they don't have to drive to. They can walk. We're here because of the vision initially of my sister that I never had, Alderman Dow. She asked me years ago, I need somebody to do something with those vacant lots around the Hell Station. That's the coolest sound in the city, right there. And I had no idea what she was talking about, but I just reached out to some people and I finally stumbled upon that guy next to her, Charlton Hamer, and had him come out, and this is what we talked about at Sip and Savor right down the street, and we ended up here. And we're here because also of the boldness and the direction of our Mayor Lightfoot. I appreciate it, and your team for getting us here and pushing this over the finish line. I thank you both. I'm here also with my business partner, Juan Saldana, my man. My daughter, Madison, my son, Philip, and my other daughter is enjoying this nice weather in Miami, her few last weeks before she graduates. And my tribe. The Adderall must be kicking in because they're actually being nice. They're settled down. We're proud of this development because, I always say I'm proud of this development because the people in the neighborhood are proud of it. And that shows. The pride is demonstrated organically through over 100 selfies taken that I didn't know was coming. The neighbors start taking them, and then I post them, and then everybody else posts them. I get marketing companies call me, how do you do that? We want to get on board. I said, you have to actually have something that people like to actually want to do it. So it's wonderful to see everybody taking the selfies and taking the pride in it. Yes, this is a ribbon cutting for this, and this building is the first, and it's my heart. The second building gives us an opportunity to change a community I spent a lot of time with. I was at 4737 Wabash until I was about 10, before we moved further south to the south suburbs. But my father, my grandfather, all were part of this community. This Phase 2 building is my heart. I lost my dad 4 years ago. In January of 2019, in November, we introduced this to, some of you were there in the gym at Bronzeville School, and I never really paid attention to what my dad and my grandfather did until after he passed away. And some of you have seen that picture. The reason it is so close to me is because that picture that some of you seen is a picture of him kneeling in front of my grandfather's truck that said P.L. Beckman Sons Construction. and it's taken in 1955 at the intersection of 43rd and Prairie. So I'm going to be a part of a building that's going to be there, and he can watch over it with my grandfather. So I'm so proud. I'm proud my kids and my family and my friends can be a part of it. And I'd like to, it's not much else I can say. It's been said before. So thank you, Mayor Lightfoot. Thank you, Alderman Dow. Juan, thank you. Esther, where are you? My girl. Commissioner Navarro, Commissioner Cox, and your team, thank you. Samir. IFF came in, took care of us with the old building that was there. We all probably went there from the neighborhood. There's a great restaurant there. We moved forward. HUD, thank you. Again, you came in at a difficult time to make this path much easier. Stratford, NOSA from BOA, Mr. McHugh, thank you. Melissa and Memo and your team. Where's Melissa? The powerhouse that runs this whole show. I bring parents here with their kids, and especially the daughters. When they see somebody that looks like them running this show, she changes lives. And I hope she knows how powerful she is. But she is. She has young girls at 10, 11 years old that now this is all they want to do is be involved in something like this. Memo, I don't know if Jim Harbin is here. Another great person is making sure we get things done. And to all the union contractors and making sure that we get this done and done on time and safe. And my neighbors, who I've seen many times around, they call me when something's going on. I say, please call Melissa, but they call me first, which is fine. And again, to my family, to all of you here, and to my tribe, thank you. Thank you. So I have no idea. I think Commissioner Cox is next. Calm down. We still got time. We still got. I'm introducing. Oh, I can't. My buddy Charlton. He was. I always say it, and I'm going to keep saying it. He's been my completely useless friend for about 25 years. And when he came through strong, my guy Charlton.
It's cold. So, good morning. He's always got to throw one in on me. It's amazing. No project is only an investment in real estate. It is an investment in the future of the community and in the lives of people who live and work there. I love using that quote. The quote is from the founder, chairman of the Habitat Company, Daniel Levin. And it is, go ahead. Oh yeah, absolutely. It is appropriate for every development that we get involved in. And it is the epitome of this development at 43 Green. There's been a lot of thank yous here, and so I'd like to add on to that as well. Some of it is repetitive, but I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say these. United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. City of Chicago, of course, under the mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Commissioner Cox, Department of Planning. Marissa, Department of Housing, Brian Essenberg and Esther. I mean, very good friends of the development of affordable housing and mixed income development as well. State Senator Maddie Hunter, I don't know if she's there. There she is. And of course, Alderman Dow, a great friend, a great leader for this community, and with great vision, a true asset to this community. Our capital partners, Debt and Equity, Fifth Third Bank, Stratford Capital, Bellwether Enterprise, Design Team, Landon Bone Baker, and of course in the next phase as well, Moody Nolan. General contractors, BOA, McHugh Construction. Legal counsel, Applegate and Thorne Townsend. I also like to thank the Habitat team. So who's here from Habitat? There we go. So our community development team, Jeff Head, Dave Mavis, Lillian Yule, our project management team, our in-house counsel, our marketing team, our IT team, our accounting team, risk management. Now it takes a heavy lift for a complicated development like this. These things don't come to fruition by magic. There's a lot of work that goes into this. And of course, last but certainly not least, our development partner, P3 Markets. Philip Beckham. The alderman says she's known him for years. I think I may have known him for just a little bit more. His father, parents, great people who have molded him. I continue to hear his father now talk about this development and how proud he is of Phil and Phil and his family. And I'm proud of you too, to a certain extent. And Juan Saldana. Nobody talks about Juan. But I want to give a lot of light to Juan as well. He's a great partner. So both phases, phase 1 and 2, represent, and as the mayor talked about, an over $80 million investment in the community. These 2 sites will encompass 179 units for 9,000 square feet of retail space. Both of these phases epitomize the initiatives that are set forth by the Lightfoot administration, the Department of Housing as well. Equitable, transit-oriented development, mixed income housing, that dynamic between affordable and market rate, and of course Invest Southwest and being able to bring retail amenities to this community. It's not just housing development, it's economic development as well. So of course the Habitat Company is enthused. Great sound again. Enthused to be able to continue to make an impact in this community by enhancing the quality of life for the residents of this community. So thank you. Oh, isn't this amazing? So now I'd like to invite my fraternity brother, Robert McGee of Fifth Third Bank.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to just give a few remarks before everyone migrates to the sun on me. But it is an absolute pleasure to be with you all today. My name is Rob McGee. I'm the Community Impact Territory Manager and Head of Social Enterprises for Fifth Third Bank here in Chicago, but also covering Indiana as well as Michigan. My thanks personally to Mayor Lightfoot, Alderman Dow, who we've been in a ton of conversations about a little bit of everything together. My good friend Marissa Navarro, who is just the best of the best of the best. And of course, my good friend Charlton Hamer, who I've known a little bit longer than Phil, and I've got stories that I can't share just at this moment. When I got here earlier, I was talking to Phil, and we were just thinking about and talking about, when this project first came about. And I remember being in the offices of Habitat with Phil and Charlton. I believe Jeff was there. This is about 6 years ago. And here we are today. And I say that because, I know Marissa mentioned this earlier. These projects take time. They are extremely difficult, but we're in it for the long haul. And while this may become or is the poster child, our goal as a collective is to make sure that this becomes the standard. And I have to give a special shout out to my team at Fifth Third that really took the time to crunch the numbers and really figure out a way to be creative to make this happen, because this is a mix of both affordable and market, and we need market in this community, and I can say that because I'm a proud resident of this community. So Vincent Haynes, I think, is here somewhere. Amber David is here as well. Kudos to you both for really sticking to this. We have another team that's worked on this as well, Keith Burgess, Susan Thomas, as well as Justin Marshall. So thank you all for your support. Fifth Third Bank is investing in communities, like Bronzeville. It is our goal, it is our objective to look at different ways in which we can balance and reshape some of the inequities that have existed in our communities. And we are very proud to be a partner with P3 Markets, with Habitat, with Stratford, with Bellwether, in endeavors such as this. We feel as though strong banks need strong communities, and this is a very strong and vibrant communities. And it is our goal, it is our duty, it is our objective to bring this and other communities like this back to the prominence that they once had. Far too long, communities such as Bronzeville has experienced decades of disinvestment, disenfranchisement, and again, it is our goal, it is our duty, it is our obligation to change the trajectory of these communities. So I just want to close quickly because, again, I know you all are cold. The next phase, we're going to help fill with some heaters to make sure this doesn't happen again. But in all seriousness, I'm just really proud of the work that our team at Fifth Third has done to help this project come to fruition. I really want to thank, again, the mayor's office as well as P3 and Habitat for all the work that they've done to make this project happen. These are very difficult and challenging projects, but this has to become the standard going forward, and these celebrations have to become second nature because it's what everyone in this community should expect. Thank you. So that's the first part. Second part, I need everyone, the speakers are all in the front. We're going to exit here to go to the ribbon cut